This is it. There's no plan B's for me. And I tell people, nobody asked me to be in the entertainment field. Like it wasn't like someone knocked on my door and said, Dennis, we want you in the entertainment field. This is something that I asked to do. I wanted to do. So they don't have to accept me. They don't have to let me in. They don't have to give me anything. It's what I want.
Hi, and welcome to Artists Unveiled, a show where we bring on exceptional creators to not just tell their story, but to give you real insights into how they went from striving to thriving. My name is Holiday, and on today's episode, we are interviewing a phenomenal actor who's known and loved for his signature character roles and impressive work as a director, teacher, an actor, and a writer, too. Introducing the one and only Dennis White. Hey, Dennis, nice to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What are you up to these days? What are you working on now?
Well, right now I'm co-producing an amazing documentary called "The Baristas versus Billionaires." It's about the Starbucks workers getting unionized and fighting to get unionized, and we're pretty much almost done with it. We're premiering at the Buffalo International Film Festival. We're doing a private screening in New York, October 7th, and we have some amazing people involved. We have Susan Sarandon narrating, Amari Hardwick, Yo-Yo, the rapper Yo-Yo, Pete Rock is doing music with it. And it's just a great project, spearheaded by Mark Morey.
That's amazing. Congratulations on getting to the festival with that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that, and then I have a movie called News Cycle that's coming out in October as well, the end of October. Um, and then I have like 3 or 4 projects that are coming out, and then I have a lot of workshops that I'm in classes that I'm doing right now too, and just writing and creating.
So you've had a very, very, very multifaceted career. And
Yeah.
what was the first thing that you did as a performer or as an artist or as a writer or as a director or anything that you really felt, wow, this is me?
Man, I think it's all. I think it's everything. I think it's from the rapping to the acting to the hosting to the writing. I think it's all. I think that when I think my first really gig that I felt like I don't say I arrived, but that I got most notoriety from is from hosting at Fuse
Right.
Television, building relationships with artists that I still have to this day. That was really the first inception of the majority of people knowing me more. My music career, uh, you know, it was independent. So I got some, I was on the Billboard charts as Dennis and Menace, and it did well. But I think Fuse opened the doors. And then on the film side, the Brave One with Jodie Foster, that project really made the studios kind of, listen to me or see me a little more.
And coming from the world of music and coming from the world of acting, in those two mediums, do you feel like the come from is any different?
I think with the music, I think it's more about expression of yourself and getting the public and the industry to accept who you are. I think in the acting, it's more about the public and the entertainment and the industry accepting what you can do. So I think there's a little difference in that, but it's still the same, you know, hustle, grind, highs and lows, and all that other stuff.
Do you feel, I mean, obviously things have changed, really rapidly, especially in the past, say, let's just say arguably 10 years, with the advent of a lot of new technology. How do you feel that, someone comes at it now as opposed to maybe the new way to come at it, whereas people are sort of used to doing it a different way. What advice would you give to a person to really, like maybe a mid-career artist? Like, how could they change their perspective?
I just think that the bottom line for anything in this entertainment field is consistency, and how whatever genre you're in, whatever your niche is, you think about these streamers who are, making gobs of money and are so popular. It's because they stream 3 or 4 times a day at least. So they have built that sweat equity and that clientele and that viewership. It's just the consistency of it and pushing through. A lot of times people get discouraged by, the door is not opening immediately, and it's not supposed to open immediately, especially for anything you want, anything of value. It needs to be some type of challenge to make sure that you're prepared for it. So, it's different from when, I started. We didn't have Instagram or Facebook. When I first got in the game, like I don't even think we had YouTube or internet too much. You know what I mean? Like it was just street team. Posting posters and going to different cities, and that grind, which is fun. But with social media, you have an opportunity to reach more people with a click of a finger. But the down grade of it is more people with less talent are getting into
Yeah,
getting
it's homogenized.
viewership again. Yeah, some clowns
You
out here.
think? Well, and that's the thing that you were talking about. It's supposed to be hard. And I think a lot of
Yeah,
what people don't understand is missing is that it's a craft. And that it's not only a craft, but there's something about life experience, and it gives you texture. It gives you something to come from. It gives you a
yeah.
feeling of vibration, an energy. And how do you explain that to someone who doesn't understand it now that everything's so instantaneous?
Well, I show them the quality of certain work, and so when I coach actors, I've been coaching for about 15 years now. It's crazy, but I work with a lot of celebrity actors one on one. I work with up and coming actors, new actors, people that never acted before, and a lot of times I'll get in contact, or I'll meet some of these to be actors, and they don't feel like they need to take classes, and I could show them the difference between the quality of work, and because everything is microwave right now, so quick and fast, and it's quantity, not quality. So I still feel that quality rises to the top, the cream rises to the top eventually. There's going to be some that falls through the crack, but the majority of it is the talent rises.
So, on the scales of life of entertainment justice, where do you think the hustle and craft are? Are they like equally balanced, or how does that work? You know,
No, unfortunately, I think the hustle is 75-80%, and the talent is about 20%. There are some incredible basketball players at West 4th Street who can outplay everybody in the NBA, but their hustle isn't the same,
mm.
and the know-how and the knowledge. But I feel that the talent is cool, but if you don't have the hustle to get it out there and believe in it and push it, it's potential is just potential.
Well, what should a young artist, or what might a young artist think to themselves when they're having like a low spell? How do they keep themselves? What's a good way to keep themselves motivated? Or do you think that's just something that's intuitive?
Um, Go to the strip club, or I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. No, honestly, I feel like you have to understand that it's not always going to be sunshine, and that's no matter what career field you in. If you work at McDonald's, you're gonna burn your finger on the grease for the fries on Wednesday. It's gonna you're gonna have up and downs. You're gonna have trials and tribulations. So you have to push through it. So it's persistence, perseverance. You got to persevere through it. And you got to pray. You got to there has to be a extra um, spiritual connection to help you mentally and physically to persevere through the trials and tribulations, because it's going to be tough and you're going to have situations where you hear no. And I tell actors and artists, is this entertainment field is personal, is impersonal. You're too short, too tall, too pretty, too ugly, too fat, too skinny.
Just like
It's
life.
just, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just life. Yeah.
Actually, I think life is tougher, and I think on a hard day you have to remember that this is a game, and you can enjoy it even
Yeah.
with the ups and the downs, and that life is tougher if
Mhm.
you don't do what you want to do. And life's going to be
Oh
happy
man.
and sad and tough anyway. So go for what you want.
Man, that's the worst thing in the world, to die and not do what you love to do or
To
even attempt
try.
to do
Well,
it.
it's trial because
To try.
ultimately you always end up with yourself. Whatever you've done and whatever you didn't do,
Yeah.
you're going to walk out the door, you're going to have one pair of shoes, you're going to put your head down on a pillow. So you got to
Yeah.
be satisfied with yourself.
Definitely. Definitely. That's the whole thing. A lot of times, when it comes to acting, the thing that people don't understand, I don't think they really get it, is that what we're doing is
Hmm.
crazy. Like, it's not normal. We are reenacting
Life.
someone's view. Someone like was sitting in the bed, like, you know what? I think it'd be a great movie about a dude who can bend and move bullets, and he has a guy named Morpheus, and just create a story. I think it would be cool about a cop from Detroit that moves to L.A., and then he
Look at the
solves a
ripple
crime, and
effects
he's
of
still.
those things, though.
Yeah, it's just someone's thought process, and then they create. They have a vision of the actor, and someone comes in, and just all this is all in the brain. So everybody's career is definitely different. So you're doing something that no one else has ever done, and so you have to understand that you're going to have to break boundaries through that. My career is different than anyone else's career, and vice versa. So I can compare, but I can also contrast, and the things that I based off, how I grew up, where I grew up, things I encountered, things I had the luxury of, and things I didn't have the luxury of, is the makeup of how I pursued this career.
Yeah, I mean, entertainment ultimately came out of shamanism, came out of, we
Hmm.
were tribal peoples, and there'd be one person who was the shaman connected to the spiritual realm, and everyone would
Yep.
come around and watch that person. And that's
Hmm.
ultimately, if you want to talk about someone who's a real artist or a real entertainer, that's still what we're doing.
Yeah. And that's why the spiritual aspect of it is so powerful. That's why when there are certain actors that perform, you gravitate towards them. You're connected to them because their gift is spiritual. Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know what religion he is, or if he has religion, but his performances are spiritual. You're connected with him. You feel every angst, every smile, every cry. You feel it. You're just connected with it, and that separates the great actors from those that are just good or serviceable.
Is there anything that you would advise a young actor right now to do or not to do? Do you see that some people are misled in their beliefs and others understand there's a particular way to do things? Or what would you say? I know it's kind of a wide question.
I feel like every actor, if that's what you want to do, you need to take classes. You need to study. And study meaning not just take a class, just because, but I have people that come to me. I'll do a workshop or a class in a different city. I have one coming up in Memphis next month, and they took the class, paid their money, but they never researched
Mm,
me. I'm like, you didn't Google me? You didn't go to my IMDb and check me out? You don't. So there's a lot of people that are teaching classes or giving classes because there's no regulation. And so these actors are getting frustrated because they're not really learning enough to be a working actor. So I feel like take classes, but do your research on the teacher. And, if they can, you can't teach me to do something you can't do.
right.
It's
Well, I
just,
think you're an
you can't teach.
exception in a way, though, because people are fortunate to be able to work with you because you actually do these things, you know? So that
Yeah.
there's a difference too, right?
Yeah, it's a big difference. I mean, in my career, I've done every facet of acting. I've done background work, I've done stand-in work, I've done stunt work. I was 50 Cent stunt double for Righteous Kill. I've done PA work. I've directed. I produced. I've wrote scripts. I've done it all. I've been a day player. I've been a series regular. I've done it all, great and bad. So I've had that experience. And you said something earlier about life experiences. That's one of the best things as far as actors. You should collect experiences so that you can divulge that to the audience. One of the best things that I enjoy is when I someone comes to me and not just that they recognize me, but a character or a project made them feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, oh man, I cried, or I hated you. Oh my God, I can't stand you because of this, that, and third. That means that I did my job. I affected your emotions.
Yeah. I had a teacher at the neighborhood Playhouse School of Theater, junior school, where I went when I was a kid. I was a child actor. Her name was Mrs. Romano,
Mm-hmm.
and she was one of the most well-known character actresses at a certain period in history. And she just said to us, when you're walking across the street and you see a homeless person, someone who's, some person who's indigent, go
Mm-hmm.
up there, watch them. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they doing? Get into them, become them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she told us to watch everything and be everyone. But life experience is the only thing that can really teach you how to know those things and feel those things. So definitely the more things that you do and the more places that you're in and the more rooms that you're in and the more experiences that you have, uh, the more you'll have to work with as a performer, no matter what kind of performance you do.
Yeah, and also, you know, it doesn't have to be firsthand. Like when I played D Rock in Notorious the Biggie movie, my character Damien, he was in prison. He in the movie he went to jail for Biggie and came home. I've never been to prison before, and I don't want to go to prison. So um, I didn't commit a crime to go to prison so I can understand what
No,
he was
of course
like.
not.
I had a friend that was locked up, and I went to go visit him a couple times, and just to kind of and I did my research and things of that nature. I always tell my actors if I have to smoke crack to play a crackhead, I'm not an actor. I'm a crackhead.
That's a good
You
one.
know, and so you know that's the downfall of Heath Ledger. You
Mm.
know,
What has been your experience in producing, directing, or the chain of events that led you there? How being in one, part of the industry can lead to another? Maybe illuminate people on
yeah.
that aspect.
Well, it for me it was something that I was getting inundated by DPs, director of photographies, cameramen. You know, I'll shoot something like, "Yo, Dennis, you need to direct. Yo, you need to start directing." The way you approach, they kept being in my head. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, okay," but I was afraid because it's uncharted territory. So, I kind of forced myself, and things pushed me into that aspect. And directing is a challenging, amazing, hard, horrible, beautiful experience
The other things aren't.
because as an actor, no, well, as an actor, this everything is, the script is, everything is done. I come on, I do my character, I do my role, I do my thing, and then I leave, and I see it in the theaters or whatever, the screen. But as a director, it's like a baby. You get it from the inception. You feed it, you nurture it, you chastise it. You clothe it, and you drop it on accident. You pick it up. It's like a child. And so from script, you see the script, and then you bring it to fruition. And understanding that process, and understanding that the job is to, I tell actors, as a director, as an actor, you are a conduit between the writer and the audience. And if the writer's vision is convoluted because of bad directing or bad acting, that's your fault. It should be fluid between the writer and the audience. So learning that, and Benny Boom, I asked him, like, who's a great director, like, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? He was like, first thing you need to know is the lenses, the different lenses. And I was like, okay, and that helped me out a lot. And so I've taken classes, I've studied, and I feel like I'm a pretty good director. It's ever evolving. It's kind of like, I feel like directing is like playing golf. Like, it's everything is always different. And so, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Anything specifically you want to shine a light on while you're here?
I have a show on Tubi. It's called Clubhouse Cinema, um, where we show short films, and but sketch comedy around it. It's kind of funny. Little pet project I did during the pandemic. I just had a movie come out called Court in the Streets. That came out last month. A movie called On Everything I Love. Um, News cycle that's coming out. It's Man, it's such a great project. It's about a news station that gets taken over by terrorists, and in the midst of them
Oh, you mean that
taking
hasn't
over.
happened yet? Okay.
Oh man, it's crazy because when we were filming, it actually happened in, I think, in Venezuela at the
Oh,
same time
really?
we were doing it. But the way this is set up, we're in there, we're talking about everybody's hang up about religion and race, and it's so powerful, the dialogue that we have in this project. So that should be out the end of October. Um, and just, I just got a lot of projects. I don't. It's hard for me to say when they're coming out because I don't know, because I'm behind this. I'm not behind the scenes on a lot of them, but I have a couple TV shows and movies that are coming out towards the end of this year. And Cold and Windy, um, TV series I'm on AMC and All Black, is we're about to prepare to do season three. So we, already on the season three. So we should be shooting that pretty soon.
Nice. That's quite a gamut of interesting work all at once. You're always so busy.
Man, yo, listen, bills come every month,
They're
sometimes
busy
twice.
too. They're
You
busy
know,
sending out the bills.
yeah. So I gotta keep up with them.
Yeah, don't look at me.
And I enjoy what I do. I love working. That's my happy space. I love working. I love filming. I love creating. I love working with actors. Um, I love helping actors get the vision. You know, and so this is it. There's no plan B's for me. And I tell people, nobody asked me to be in the entertainment field. Like, it wasn't like someone knocked on my door and said, Dennis, we want you in the entertainment field. This is something that I asked to do. I wanted to do. So they don't have to accept me. They don't have to let me in. They don't have to give me anything. It's what I want. So I have to be gracious and appreciative and persistent with it.
Where are you located now if folks want to study with you?
honestly, my classes are virtual.
Uh-huh.
So atlikeyouknow.org, just how you say it, atlikeyouKnow.org. I coach people. I have students that I've worked with that I've never met before in my life. They live in different cities, different states, sometimes different countries. But I'm between LA and Atlanta. But I travel a lot, so I'm in Miami next week. The week after that, I'm in DC, and then I'm Baltimore, and then Memphis, then New York, and then North Carolina. So I'm everywhere. So if you want to rock with me, just go to atlikeyouKnow.org or follow me on social media at Dennis L.A. White on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans, all that.
Only toes.
But yeah, I'm only toes, for y'all feet fetish. I got some corns for you. Hot buttered corn on the big toe. But yeah, so I mean, I'm accessible, and I'm really about this industry. I'm about this business. I've been doing it for such a long time, and I've been consistent.
Do you do any live performance, or are you intending to anymore?
That's what I'm funny you say that. That's what I've been toggling about doing. I did a play last year, which was cool. Um, but I'm kind of wanting to get back into the live performances. I might get on stage and do some stand up comedy. Because I done when I lived in New York, I did some stand up comedy. I really love comedy. I produced the comedy tour for the Hodge twins, and I'm always surrounded by comedians. Dave Chappelle is a real good friend of mine, and I rock with him, and I have that urge, and so I think I'm gonna put my foot back in that realm and do some stand up comedy. But I wouldn't mind doing a play again or something. Um, that's the instant reaction you get. When you do a movie or film, you got to wait 6 months, a year, whatever, to get the reaction, and you don't even really get. You don't meet everybody that sees it, but as a play or a stand up, you get that immediate connection, whether good or
What
bad.
does that mean to you? Like, how does that affect you?
Well, I think that it sharpens you. You know, I'm notorious for not. I don't really watch my work.
Hmm.
Like I don't do a movie and be like, oh, let me see it. There's a lot of projects that I haven't seen, and if I do see it'll be like months down the road or a year down the road, or haphazardly I'll be somewhere. People turn on a movie. I'm like, oh, I'm in this movie, because I'm extremely critical. But getting that immediate response from an audience um, gives you encouragement, and also being able to alter and change things and improve things. Sometimes as an actor, you just you know it's there, it's done, and it's printed forever. But when you're on stage, you could tell if audience you're losing the audience. You could tell the audience is in the palm of your hands. So it's such a great feeling, and it's scary. It's scary,
It's interesting that even over
but
time that you can still feel fear in those moments. You would think I think observers
yeah,
probably figure, "Oh, this person has been doing this for a while. It doesn't bother them." But that's not true, right? It's an interactive thing.
it is. And the fear is good. It means that you care.
Mm.
You care about the quality of your performance. So you don't want to fail. You want to be great. And so, I'm not fearful enough to where I'm like, oh my God, but it's not like that. It's just like there's a little nervousness, and it's like, good, all right, let's do it. And then when I hit the stage, whatever, I'm hype on it.
That's
So,
awesome.
that's a possibility soon. I just had a meeting a couple days ago at this school, magnet school, and I'm going to go and teach the kids a couple times a
That's
month.
awesome.
Just
That's awesome.
give them some knowledge. Yeah,
I hope we can chat again. You have so much to say and so much value to share. And I'm really happy that we had this opportunity to learn from you. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation, and anytime I'm at your
Okay,
disposal.
and we'll get everything on here for you, and this should be fun. So, Dennis, thank you so much for
All right.
coming, and I hope to see you real soon. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Artists Unveiled. Please check us out on Instagram at dimi.app.og, that's dimi.app.og, and on our website at godimi.com.